Well, good morning, community. Good morning. If you're watching this live or on the replay, thank you for being here. We appreciate your support. Welcome to Stroke TV Show, a podcast. This is Survivor Experience segment. This morning, I have a special guest. I watched her produce content for a long time, and it's really great. Her name is Karina Seda, and she is here. She's bilingual, and she can serve both the English and the Spanish community. So let me play this at the bumper, and then we'll bring her on camera and get right into it. Thank you for being here.
Fire.
Good morning, Karina.
Good morning. How are
Hey,
you?
doing good. Doing really good. Thank you for being here.
It is a pleasure to be here with you all.
Do you know this person?
Can you repeat that?
Did does DJ Angel, is that your friend?
Yes. Hello, hello.
Hello, thank you for being here, DJ. Thank you. Well, hey, you doing good, Karina? Where are you located?
Well, I am located in Florida. It is a nice weather here so far. We have the sun shining and everything is great. It is a little bit cold for us. Around the 50s. In this morning was around the 50s, 40s. So for us, Floridians, it is a little bit cold.
Well, yeah. Well, let's get right into it, Karina. We're gonna hear further. I want to kind of talk about two things because I want to hear your story, your survival story, and then you've used your stroke survival like me to help people, and we'll talk about that a little bit too after. But what was your life like before your stroke?
That is a great question and something right that we can share with others that we are able to share the story. So first, thank you for this opportunity, Aaron. And I want to say thank you first. So to answer the question, description of my life before the stroke. So I born like a normal child. What I mean with that, I was able to walk, run, do everything with both of my hands. For the glory of God, I was a high honor student. I was a high honor student. So some people call me or describe me a leader because I was chosen to be the director of the medical emergency workshop when I was in the school. To be honest, Aaron, to share with you all, I have my desired profession. I wanted to get in the army and serving others in the medical field. Before that, before getting my high school degree with all my workshop in the medical emergency, I wanted to sign up to be a model during that summer. So to share with you all, I have my future planned out. Everything was like all planned out.
And then stroke hit. How old were you when you had your stroke?
Great question. First, I would love to share with you all and go a little bit, going back a little bit. I was diagnosed with an aneurysm at my 12 years old.
Oh,
However,
really?
everything was great. I kept my grades. I was in sports. I used to run, basketball, volleyball, swimming, dancing, you name it, Aaron. I was all active. I was very active then. But On my last embolization, that is the treatment for the aneurysm, everything went well. The operation was successful. But in the recovery room, my intracranial pressure rose, causing the stroke. So basically, I had what is called a massive hemorrhagic stroke at my when I was 15 years old.
Oh my God.
Yes, very young.
Was it so? We were talking earlier, and you and I are both spiritual people. Did you have, we both had near death experiences, which I want to share, both of ours. But did you at that age have a near death experience or not?
Yes, I
Tell,
had
can you
a
can you tell me about that?
yes. Basically, when I had the stroke, when I because everything happened when I was in the hospital, right? I was going to my last aneurysm. It was going to be my last operation and everything. A teenager, all with everything, all dreams, profession, plan, all everything planned, right? So when that happened, when the intracranial pressure rose and I vomit, the doctor went back with me to the operating room trying to save my life. So I was gone twice. Doctors was unable to describe what really happened right at that moment because they had to use the what is called the defibrillator twice in order to bring me back to life. And it was very interesting that I have two experiences as well. My first experience, my spiritual experience, was that I found myself, and I am telling this, and it is all vivid on my mind. I remember it like
Yeah.
yesterday, right? And it is around 15 years ago already. But the first one, I was in this beautiful, it was like a garden, but with a clear river. In Spanish, we used to call it manantial, but it is like a clear river, very clear that you sit down and you are able, to see everything as well because it's very clear. And it was I remember that I experienced a peace that is indescribable, because it is something so beautiful and to feel. And the great thing is that I did not feel like cool or warm. I have not those feelings. However, I hear voices back. The sun was shining, everything so beautiful. It was like being in a movie, right? When we have these visuals, when people want to describe, right, to describe us those experience as well. So something like that, but the experience is beautiful, so beautiful. The second one, I remember, and to share with you all, I was sharing with Aaron as well, that I love horses. That is my favorite animal, right? So I had this opportunity where I saw it was like a carousel, I can say, where I always give this picture when I share this with people. It's like when they have the red, when in Christmas they picture the Santa Claus with the carousel red and the animals. So, but something like that, but with horses. And in this case, the red, the red truck, all right, that part that carries Santa, was empty. Nobody was driving that carousel, right? So I saw that, and the great part is that everything around was white. I cannot say it was snow because I didn't feel cold. I didn't feel cold. So it is like if we sometimes like in movies when when the movie are in the sky and everything is all with the clouds white, something like that. But again, peaceful, so peaceful. And in that time for myself, I enjoy it. I enjoy it because it's something I like, right? I love to see horses around and things like that. So it was a great experience, and again, so peaceful. And in that case, I live it, and I it was so joyful for myself.
You know, it's amazing how the similarities that you, because my near death experience, one I can remember as if it was yesterday, and it was 11 years ago. So I understand you because I still can remember the feelings, the sensations. I can see everything. You cannot forget it. You cannot forget it. But it was a peace. It was a peace. You talk about the peace that passes all understanding. It was so peaceful. I cannot put words to it. So
Yes.
peaceful. And what's another amazing thing? There is something about horses. Before my stroke, before my near death experience, I was scared to death of horses. Big beasts in my before my stroke. But after my near death experience, God gave me a awakening, so to speak. I realized that horses are very spiritual creatures, and I love horses now. I can't wait. I told you in the green room before the show that I have a dream of riding a horse someday. Is what I dream of doing is riding a horse. But it's amazing. I wanted to touch on those near death experiences because for me, stroke. I'm assuming you. It actually brought me into my purpose in life. It actually brought me into my true purpose was helping people. And you help people through your living without limits. You have a coaching service, correct? You coach stroke survivors.
Yes, I help prevent or become independent from the stroke. And also, caregivers are welcome as well because we are not the only one going through the process. And caregivers are the ones who see us in the bad days, in the good days as well. So it has been very interesting. Caregivers reaching out as well.
Yeah, I think that probably is. I call it the ripple effect of stroke, where it's not just about the stroke survivor, but it's about our family and friends. They help. They get affected by my stroke, and so. But I'm curious. Let me ask you another question, if I can, Blaze. What did you experience? I feel like what did you what how were you on your how long were you in recovery from your childhood aneurysm? How long were you in recovery?
Okay, so after the stroke happened, the big event, right? And they brought me back to life and everything. I had um, I had to relearn everything from beginning. I lost all movement of the left side of my body, and basically I had to relearn how to walk, talk, move my eyes, swallow, well, everything from the beginning. To be honest, Aaron, at 15 years of age, it was tough because we are at that age where we feel we have everything. We are at the start of our independence, right? Making decisions, what I want to be, what I want to do. And to be honest, I spent years in the first phase post stroke acceptance, like this happened to me. You know that sometimes we are asked that why it happened as well. But after several years, I understand that everything happens for a reason. That is why I am so passionate about what I do. After those years, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, all of the resources we have, I have the opportunity and to now be independent. I am able to work, drive, take care of myself, well, like any other normal human being, right? Feeling the same things, the same needs, responsibilities. Now that we have a lot of things going on as well, right, in our life. And if someone see me in person, right, they can notice that something happened because of the way I move my left side, right, the way I walk. But for the glory of God, Aaron, I am independent.
That is amazing, Karina. So you were pretty much you couldn't walk when you first had your stroke. You couldn't walk. You had to be in to walk, and you're walking now. You don't use a cane. I watch you. You got up. You walk independently. You talk beautifully. So I'm curious, how hard was that journey from going not walking to walking? Because I haven't walked for 11 years. I still want. I'm going to. I'm going to keep trying. Keep trying. But describe kind of that journey from where you were paralyzed on one side to where you are today. You're now moving. But was it hard?
Yes. Yes, we have a journey. We have the beauty of everything, Aaron, is that we all um have a mission to accomplish post-stroke. We are here with a reason and something, right? And we all have that inside of us that to keep it going as well and to be able to find that, right? Is the journey about the transformational journey as well, right? That we go through. And but it was on my journey. I took years, and everything was step by step. At the beginning, I remember that my first step, because I pushed myself, and I pushed myself in the way that I remember I was in inside patient in the recovery part, right? And nobody was in the room. And I say myself, I want to reach that share, the share that visitors or the people who are with you, and they are able to sit and stay in the room. So I wanted, that was my goal, that I want to touch that. I want to touch that. So I wait until my mom and everybody, anybody in the room, right? So that, well, I don't remember, it was in the morning, almost lunchtime, because my mom went to pick up her breakfast, and I took that as an advantage. I was alone in the room,
Honey.
decided, decisive, right, determined to reach that share. Guess what? I pushed myself, right, with only one hand, with my right hand in this case. I was able to sit in the hospital bed, and I have that next to the bed. So I pushed myself, and I was able to at least stand up. I put the weight on my left side. So that was a huge thing for me, right? After days, months without able to, weeks, let's say, around it, um, to be able to put the weight and at least touch it. So the funny part on my story was that I was able to do it. Hey, we are celebrating. I did it. But
Yeah.
I forgot that those chairs have little big wheels. So when
Oh,
I touched it, and I was able to to lean lean it in the chair, and little by little I was in the floor.
Oh no.
So for the glory of God, right? Nothing happened. And again, I share this not for encouraging people to do that without without someone watching, but I did it. I touched the chair and I end in the
Okay.
floor. But that was the beginning of this new journey of becoming independent post stroke.
Wow, that is an amazing story. I wanted to point out determination. Didn't give up. You had a dream of walking, a dream of speaking, dream of living your life again. So many stroke survivors out there, when they have their stroke, they stop. They lose a purpose. They lose the drive. They put a period at the end of their stroke. But if I know you'll agree with me that if a stroke survivor will not put a period out there and they keep trying, they can find their purpose. They can find their purpose for being there. Like you said, the agreement made everything happens for a reason. Everything.
Yes, everything that happened for a reason, and I agree with you when finding that purpose, and being able to enjoy every phase post stroke, being able to be grateful about everything that happened in our life as well, and discovering ourselves throughout recovery and becoming better than before, because now that we have a second chance at life, we have this opportunity of making things better than before, doing the things that maybe we find ourselves when we if we think and remember our life before, so we did not have the opportunity to do those things that now we are able, but because sometimes we are thinking about or focusing ourselves, right, in the why it happened, why I am here, why I am not jumping, driving, I am not walking, and the things, right, but also being able to find that purpose and be grateful of everything that happens in our journey.
That is so true. That's identical to what happened to me because I feel like I was given a second chance. I believe every stroke survivor out there, Karina, has given a second chance. You can actually rebuild your life better than before your stroke. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know stroke lies to people, tells them it's over, their life is over. It's not just beginning because they've been given a second chance. But I think the key to what you're talking about is gratefulness. I went on a trip to the mountains just recently. First time I went to see the mountains and hills in 11 years. It was so beautiful. It was like I was seeing with child's eyes for the first time. It was so gorgeous, and I'm so grateful for that. But to speak of grateful, let me play a little commercial that has something to do with that. Watch this. Here we go. See, gratefulness to me is a magnet for miracles. If you can learn to live a grateful life after your stroke, and we don't focus on not being able to move your left arm, or just be grateful you're alive. It will change your life. It'll attract miracles in your life. I've experienced that. But I'm curious, Karina, what did you, with your journey of recovery, and you're still recovering, but in your journey so far, what have you learned? Would you say your three top or your some of your top lessons you've learned?
Well, a lot of things, to be honest, but to bring everything right and to share with you all first, um about, we are have been focusing around the grateful, the being grateful towards recovery, becoming independent post stroke. And also I learned first, well, knowledge, right, about the things, the essential things we need towards recovery. And we need that combination about things, right, as well. Not only the traditional resources we have available, but also a little bit more, right, going in deep toward recovery. But one thing that I would love to share with you all that I learned throughout my journey, first, patience. That was a big one, a big one. And here I would love, that sometimes we are, God, give me patience with this. If we ask for that, what we are really asking is for more of those things to build and develop, right? That patience. So in this case, I would love to share with you all to, like, that the way we ask for it as well is a very interesting and things to share and talk about. But the point is that everything happens at the right time when it needs to happen. And here I
Ooh.
would love to share, right? Because at the beginning of every year, right? Every year, I don't know how many of you survivors relate to this, that in every new year we find ourselves saying, this is my year, this is going to be different this year, I am going to do better, I am going to keep going, right? And we keep our goals, we keep renewing our goals. Sometimes we are in the same goal over and over, year through year, right? But everything happens when, at the right time, when we are ready to have that as well. Another example that I would love to share is like, we are so sometimes we are angry because we don't reach our goal at the time we put ourselves, right, reaching that goal. But here, one thing that I share with so many other people is like, at the it is the best thing that happened at the right time, and is when imagine us, or imagines, right, God, right, giving a or let's go a little bit deep in a more another example. Parents, imagine parents giving keys for a new car to a 7 years old. What is going to happen with that car, right? I don't want to mention,
Right.
but we can have the picture. So the same with our recovery, our journey, because we all are different. We all have different journeys, and although we are here share sometimes the years we spend through our recovery, we are all different, and that is the beauty of working with different survivors, with us as human beings, right? We are unique, and our journey is unique as well. So, yes, the point is that the first thing I learned was patience, and the fact that everything happens at the right time when it needs to happen.
Oh, I
Also,
love that.
yeah, and
Here's a question from one of the audience members. I'll bring it up on your screen. Says, yeah, like, can you see it in your screen? Can you see it?
um,
She
yes,
says, my husband has had a stroke over 3 months ago. He doesn't follow any commands. Typical. What kind of therapy should I request from him? First of all, I want to encourage you, if you're watching this live, please participate by putting your comments like this in the chat. I'll bring them up during the show. If you're watching this on the replay, put a comment or question. Karina or myself will contact you back. But the TJ, I'm gonna say that what Karina is saying, patience also applies to you. Have patience. First of all, be patient with him because his body has changed, right? And he does, his mind has changed. the way he thinks. He's probably emotional. He's not. He's going through a lot. I don't know the details. Again, you may want to contact DJ. You may want to contact or email Karina her email address down below and to ask and talk to her. Or like I said, we'll talk to you. Well, I ain't die, but I'm gonna let you take it, Carson. What do you suggest for her to do with her husband now, following her instructions, and what kind of therapy should they do with the rough one? I'll let you take it.
Okay, so first, right, about around looking about 3 months ago, all right, as well. So the first things, the first resources, and I would love to ask, right, the resources available. They brought the doctors, and the doctors suggested again to throughout the specific case or a scenario, and but to share, as I mentioned as well, some of the things I took as well, and I believe that most of us go through is to take those first resources, right? That they offer us occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy for the and I believe that they open up and focusing more on the cognitive part, cognitive therapy as well.
Yeah, okay. But this is right up your alley. So, TJ, I encourage you and anyone else out there. Do you have a free consultation? Karina, can TJ contact you and just email you a question or contact you?
Yes, and that is a great question. And I have, I call it breakthrough session where we go a little bit in deep, right? And different ways. I believe that we are going to share it a little bit later as well. But I have my page, lwlwks.org. Okay. And if you put slash apply, that is going straight to my calendar and the social media. And again, I believe that we are going to review it at the end as well. But lwlwks.com, lwlwks.org as well.
Yeah, because I think so, TJ, just so you make sure, get a hold of Karina via email, contact her, and set up a time to have a breakthrough session because of this. And now I will say it doesn't even this coming up. TJ says her doctor says he might have a leg aphasia, and I find aphasia so cruel because that's one of the terrible side effects of stroke. Terrible. I will only drop a name as far as a face deal with a face. Google Tom Bassard. Message me and I'll give you a link, TJ. But Tom Bassard is, and it's Tom Bassard. He's a PhD who suffered a stroke and had aphasia really bad, and actually was able to recover from it. He would never know he had aphasia. So contact him. Contact Karina for your breakthrough session. Contact Tom for help you deal with aphasia. Tom Broussard, message me and I will let you know. But I think Karina, you deal with people with aphasia. It's not easy. Aphasia is hard.
Yes, I remember on my case at the beginning, right, when we lost all the movement of the left side of the body, and everything start from zero, right? The feeling I didn't felt, I didn't feel anything on the left side, and everything I remember it just came around now from nowhere that um the different textures I had to go over, right? And I remember that they put me in a cool water and I felt like hot water.
I
And
know,
so
I know. Yeah.
yeah, so it is, a journey as well with
If
that.
we'll get TJ, you out there, I want to encourage you, honey, or uh, get hold of Karina or myself. It will help you walk you through this journey. I would say stroke Karina is one of the hardest things a human being go through. I really do, because prime example, it not only affected her husband who had the stroke, but now affects her, her family, their friends. It affects everything. So reach out to Corinna and myself, and we'll help you through the journey because you're not alone, DJ. We're here. I want to encourage anybody out there live watching live or watching on the replay is that you could reach out. I have a support group called Second Chance Stroke Survivors. Corinna, you have a stroke support group on Facebook. What is the name of your stroke support group on Facebook?
On Facebook, it is Stroke Healing Center. And in the Facebook, we have the opportunity to have it is like a business page, right? The page. It is called Living Without Limits with Karina Seda.
All right, so there are some resources. DJ, get like that. You have some resources online with us. We'll give you resources. And here's Scott White. I find Scott White. He's been on the show, but he says he wants to encourage you. You could do this, TJ, and it is possible. Cause I was totally mute when I first had my stroke. I was totally mute and could speak a word. Now I host two live shows on the podcast. So things change, but they take time. Karina's advice in the beginning, what she learned about this, patience. Be patient. It doesn't happen overnight, right? Karina, it doesn't happen, it takes time.
Exactly. And also, two of the things that I learned throughout my journey, Aaron, was also that being able to see it with my own eyes, that we have a purpose. When we talk about that everything happens at the right time, being able to see why it happened at that time, right, as well, and being able to learn that we all have a purpose.
Yeah, that's funny. I have a saying that I learned from someone, I don't know who, but it's don't ask why me. Ask why. What did I learn? What can I learn to this? Don't ask why me. Learn to ask what can I learn? What can I learn to this journey? And if you take a different view on this stroke, if you look at it differently, not negatively, but learn to seek your purpose through it. Because like Karina said earlier, and her and I were talking about everything happens for a reason in your life. I know it doesn't seem like it now, TJ. You knew air stroke survivor. TJ, when did your stroke? When did your husband have a stroke? Put on the chat when your husband has a stroke, and also include his name, and Corinne and I will pray for him, and pray for recovery for him. So, but then Scott White has something to say. Let me see what I better breathe on camera. So Scott White says now can't get seen to shut up. All right. Well, Scott had So Scott talks a lot. Every stroke is different. Every stroke is so unique, right, Corinna? There are similarities, but every stroke, every recovery is different.
Yes, it is very interesting, right? When we study and we explore a little bit more, there are different type of strokes, and also it depends on where the stroke happened in our brain. That is another. So they are like two concepts, but if we go in one in deep, we can spend a lot of hours talking about it. But it is very interesting just to learn about our brain as well. But there are different type of stroke, and also depending on the location where it happens, we could explore another field, another concept about learning about the things that we could experience, or the reason why we are experiencing those things, because of the area that was could be affected, or the depending on the type as well, because by having a cloud, right, having something stop over there, it is not the same as having a experiencing a bleed inside the brain. So there are few concepts, right, as well around those as well.
Yeah, I just realized I knew TJ. I was unaware, but I spoke to TJ a couple times. She's also known as Royalty Jewels, and she makes beautiful jewelry. And feel free to put your link and how people get hold of you, TJ. She is Royalty Jewels, but her husband just had a stroke. He's in November. He's fairly new. He's new. But yeah, I think a fish was one of the hardest things to deal with, and I think so. I'm curious, what kind of advice would you give Karina to say a new stroke survivor like her husband, or what advice would you give TG and their husband?
Yes. So the first thing I always learn from the first resources, because if they are still in the hospital, or they are going, they could be the first things that they offer us is to go through the rehabilitation resources, right? I call it, or I refer sometimes to them, to the traditional, the conventional resources, such as the one we mentioned before: physical therapy, occupational therapy, and take advantage about those knowledge. Those things that we learn are very, very essential. So I always, encourage to take advantage, ask questions at the doctor, the nurses, if they are working with him, ask questions to the therapist, to the doctor, to the professionals. Take some pen and pencil, that sometimes if we are at home, we have so many questions as well for them, so we take advantage about their knowledge as well.
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying. One of the things that I want to tell to AJ, being the newer stroke survivor, I know she's not the stroke survivor, but the spouse of a stroke survivor, like Karina said over and over again, use the resources you have. And a lot of the times, locally, there's a local stroke group. I went to stroke group. I loved it. I loved the stroke group, and it was done by the junior college. And I felt like a young kid in the group. But I encourage you, TJ, call your local. Uh, I think it's called aging something, but just call your local speech therapist, call your local community college, ask them if they have any resources for stroke survivors. And you may find get them in their groups, because a lot of the times, like Karina and me, we all went through this, where you feel so alone. You feel like you must be the only one. I can't imagine Karina at such a young age at the stroke. But I I at age 47 felt so alone. I felt like I was the only one that has stroke. But going to stroke support group helps a lot.
Yes, help
Okay,
a lot.
I think it's friend of yours. Let's see what you said. This is a friend of yours. It's good to pay attention to those therapies and things that are way at home you could use what you've learned to help.
Yes, for
Okay.
caregivers as well, to ask those questions to them, what they recommend. So if they are at home, and ask them, hey, what I can assist, the caregiver asking the professional what they can do at home as well. Taking advantage of those resources they have available.
Yeah, Show TV has started to is getting a professional relationship built with Stroke Awareness Oregon. TJ, look up Stroke Awareness Oregon. They have a lot of resources for people like you with books and that get all of them, and they'll help you too. So Karina, get a hold of Karina and get a hold of Stroke Awareness Oregon. Those are two primary things. And Deb, and what Karina is suggesting to you to get a hold of those local resources, use them to no end. Just pursue every resource you can for him. You're gonna need help for you as a caregiver and him as a stroke survivor. But it's like Scott White just said, take time for you as a caregiver. It's really important to make sure you take care of your health, and that includes your physical health and emotional health. They make caregiver support, right, Karina? There's caregiver support for Karina out there.
Yes, as well. Yes, they are now integrating because it is well on my right on my story was so uh, 2008 back then, and back then we did not have those resources, and now that more younger people are also experiencing strokes, and they are opening as well, and caregivers are invited to participate to know about our journey, and learn as well on what the things they can do, or to understand more what is happening, right? What is happening to them sometimes. If we are unable to communicate, at least the caregiver knows what to expect throughout the process.
So you also support the caregiver with your business or the company?
Yes.
So let's take a we're almost out of time, but tell people about your how stroke survivors and their professional helping stroke survivors and caregivers professionally. Tell us about your professional side. What do
Yes,
you do?
the professional, well, for the glory of God, post stroke, I had the opportunity, and after finishing my bachelor degree, I just keep going, and became a certified health and life coach, where now I dedicate myself to help prevent and become independent for a stroke, so they can live and thrive without limits, learning the essential elements toward recovery, because we need those essential things, because throughout these old years, throughout research, tries and out, we I found a patterns that we often forget about, and having the right accountability, the right system and support toward your recovery, involving caregivers as well, and so they know, right, what we go through as well, and they help us, even having some survivors have the opportunity to have 24/7 a survivor with them, other not, right, but taking advantage of that support as well 24/7, so they can support survivors even more toward recovery, learning those essential elements and also learning the phases and the things in a it is a support where it involves mental physical aspect as well, and if we have the opportunity the spiritual part as well, so we can have all the essential all the necessary things so they can live and thrive without limits, plus finding the purpose, that being grateful, enjoying that life after a stroke as well, all combined. So in recap, it is like a transformational experience and helping people live in their best self toward recovery, having the right support, right system, and accountability so they can live and thrive without limits.
That is amazing. I think okay, for those out there that are watching live and on the replay, please like this video, share this video with people that may need it, and subscribe to Stroke TV YouTube channel. But in the video I'll go through and I'll put all of Karina's links in the YouTube video, and it'll be uploaded right after our show. So, Karina, I think Karina, you send me your links, right? You send me your links. So I
Yes.
will put the links in the YouTube video. But I want to thank you for being here, Karina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you all that were who joined us today. I hope that you all have a great day as well.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, so we'll talk to you later, right, Karina? So you'll come back on show sometime, hopefully.
Yes, I will
All
do
right,
that.
thank you. Thank you, Karina.